Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
You remember that scene from Rocky? I think it was Rocky 5 or Rocky Balboa. I'm not sure the name of the number of the movie. But it's the one where Adrian's now gone and his son's having a little identity crisis. Feels like he's being shadowed by his father, by Rocky Balboa. And Rocky, it looks like he's kind of reminiscing a little bit and he's reflecting on his life. It's a great movie. And you know, if you know me, as you get to know me through these podcasts, you'll know that the Rocky movies have a huge influence on me. And for a lot of different reasons. One, it's one of the first movies that my father took me to. I remember it was a Saturday afternoon, rainy day outside. It was boring. And my dad said, grab your coat. We're going to the movie. And I was kind of a shock because my dad was always busy. He was just, a typical dad, I guess. In that era, I'm, 49 years old. And this was back in the 70s, and he said, grab your coat, let's go. And he wanted to spend time with me. So we saw the movie. We got some popcorn. It was kind of a big deal. So that's why I liked the movie. But what's profound to me is that I watched the movie, the first one, and I misunderstood the concept of the movie. Now, that sounds great. That's it's funny. I'm 7 years old. But no, this is later in life. And I always kept thinking, my thought process was that, here's an underdog, the ultimate underdog story, not very smart, just all heart, but not very smart. And all the odds were against him. And he didn't have anything in his favor except his will to fight the heavyweight champion of the world. And I always thought it was about him wanting to beat the heavyweight champion of the world. But instead, you'll know if you've seen the movie, hopefully this is not a spoiler alert, because I think it's like 40 years or 30 whatever years old, 40 years old now. And I hope I'm not going to spoil this for you. Here's a spoiler alert. Spoiler on the movie Rocky, the first one. His whole goal was to go the distance. He wanted to go toe for toe with Apollo Creed, the heavyweight champion of the world. That's all he wanted to do. And I see myself in that story, not because I want to go get my head pummeled in by the heavyweight champion of the world. No, I've set my goals too low. And here's a guy with all the will, and again, everything against him, and maybe this is you too. Maybe I'm speaking to you. You got all this stuff piled up against you, and your goals might be just to survive, just to get past that. Well, this is truly your wake-up call, because what I am here to tell you is this, that if you're standing still, if you're hoping and waiting for this bad time to get over, if you're going through one right now, or if you're hoping and waiting for your goals to happen, you are going to get your ass kicked minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, and you're going to have a bad year. I'm telling you this because I know I have spent too much time of my life in thinking about how I'm going to accomplish this or how I'm going to do that. In case in point, this podcast that I'm doing right now, I'm not a professional podcaster. I have a full-time job. It takes a lot of time, but I'm communicating these messages to you in the hopes that you will wake up and realize that maybe you're setting your goals a little bit too low. Maybe you've got more, you've got more in you. You can give more, you can contribute more. The right reasons is all you need. Your why. And it ain't about you. It's not about you wanting to accomplish a certain goal. It's about you accomplishing that goal, becoming a better version of yourself. Because man, you can be. I mean, if I could share with you what a low life human being I was, where, the substance, character, I would try to make everybody happy. And in the end, I was miserable and I would mask it. I just wasn't genuine. I was that guy who was just trying to please everybody. And then it was miserable and got to a point where, I tried to kill myself. And that's another podcast. But my fight back has been, man, I just want to survive. I just want to get to a point. I just want to be that person where I can actually, I could get the reward without all the work. is what I would guess I was thinking. And then when I just kind of was standing still, I got my ass kicked over and over and over again by multiple different, from financially, spiritually, mentally, two different things, relationship wise, kid wise. I mean, my heart has been pulled out, stuffed back down my throat, just for me being, pathetic or apathetic, not doing anything to help myself or my cause. So, when I talk about a movie like Rocky, I get really passionate because not only is the movie great or the story great, it's a wonderful story, and I'm glad it was produced the way that it was. But if you realized how hard it was to get that movie off the ground and all the challenges that Sylvester Stallone went through, I mean, this is funny, but my wife goes, if you could meet anybody or drive across the country with anybody, who would it be? And it would be Sylvester Stallone. I'm not kidding. And I'm not kidding because the guy where he was at, and he created a whole culture based on the underdog and succeeding in all of his movie franchises and all the stuff that he's had to get ridiculed on. He really did it. He really brought it. Didn't care. Maybe he did. I don't know. But and the truth be told, at the end, he created an opportunity for my dad to take me to a movie. And after all this, so you can think about it what you will. Yeah, great movie, great story. That's awesome. But it was a connection that I had with my dad. So this is threefold. Yeah, it's a great movie. Watch the franchise. It's awesome. And in that part where it develops into the story where now he has a kid and the kid is going through his whining period or whatever. And he says out loud, he actually says, basically back off, get out of my life. And what's great is the kid says all these things. And Sylvester Stallone, in the best way he can, actually tells the guy that what I want you to do is I want you to basically quit crying about it. I don't want to give you the movie scene, but basically the world's a mean and nasty place and it'll beat you to your knees if you let it. You, me, or nobody's going to hit as hard as life. It's not about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And I think that's the most important part is life is going to hit you square in the face. It's time for you to wake up and realize that life's a fight. Human race. It is a competition. Listen, bring your A game. And how do you do that? You do something now. Don't procrastinate anymore. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? I think it's great. It's a great concept. I was really upset when I saw that because that's the no comfort zone to me. Find something that's uncomfortable, like getting up early in the morning and crush it. Find something like, for example, being to work on time and get there early. It's uncomfortable. Start showing up at the alarm clock. Start showing up at the coffee pot before you're supposed to be there and see what happens. Because it is definitely not a spectator sport. And yeah, life is going to hit hard. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows. But man, you can do this. I believe in you. If I got out of the coma and if my speech came back and if I was able to walk again and I'm able to speak publicly again, if I'm able to commit to a message and actually influence people, and I'm not a big influence. I don't want to say that or put myself as I'm a normal guy, works a long ass job. I love what I do. I got a great family, but I didn't have any of this before. So I appreciate it so much now. I am so grateful for the opportunity to get up and grind it out and fight it out every single day. And now, yeah, there are moments. I just got through a terrible, terrible time in my life right now with personnel in my organization. It was one of the hardest things I had to do. The hardest. And in the end, I hope I better served everybody by making this decision because it was not easy. But in reality, I'm enjoying the moments afterwards because today isn't so bad. I'm grateful I get the opportunity to go to work. I get the opportunity to be married to my wife. I get the opportunity to be a father, and I get the opportunity to pay my bills because at one point, I couldn't do any of that. I didn't have any of that. So to go from that place of apathy or loneliness to get to a place where I'm surrounded by people that love and care for me, to get to a point where I feel comfortable enough, and I know it's no comfort zone, but comfortable enough to share my message to help you get out of your comfort zone so that you can live on purpose, because you can bring so much more than you're bringing right now. And how are you going to do that? You got to commit to win. You have to win. I talked about it in my last podcast earlier today. Find those 15 minutes and dominate for 15 minutes. Blow it up for 15 minutes. And then quietly go somewhere else. Then come back and do it again for 15 minutes. See what happens. But anyway, Sylvester Stallone, great movie, Rocky. Rocky 2 even better because he beat the Apollo Creed, and Apollo Creed had respect for him in both movies. The fifth one, where he reflects on his life and stuff, hits home to me very much so, because at the end of your day, what do you got? You got something left in the basement that you need to get out, something that you didn't finish yet? You're young enough to finish your stuff. It is time for you to get uncomfortable. Wake up. Today's the day you go for it. Today is the day you make one step in that direction. Today is the day you commit to the better version of yourself. Today is the day you commit. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care and crush it today.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.